It's Miami Dolphins franchise time once again, and we came off the loss in the AFC Championship game 31-10. It was a little closer than that. I mean, we were down with a touchdown late in the fourth quarter, but then threw a pick six. Not a way to end the season. Lose to the Ravens once again in the AFC Championship game. Still trying to get back to the Super Bowl after that undefeated season now years ago. So now we head into another offseason. And you can see Tua on his final year of that 7-year deal we gave him. And obviously the cap room has gone down, but still, Vince Haynes needs to be re-signed. He is going to want a good deal. He's 30 years old, but still productive. Gibbs, Lions, offensive line, Weston, Garvin. There's still plenty of guys here left to re-sign. And we're going to have to definitely come up with something here. As you can see, the Super Bowl 10-3 was the final. The Ravens playing without Lamar Jackson. He was hurt in our AFC Championship game. He went down, and you can see they just had nothing else. I'm not even sure why there's not a quarterback stat at all. They obviously threw the ball, but it did not work out in their favor. Without Lamar Jackson, this offense kind of went to nowhere. They didn't even have Marquise Hollywood Brown there either, so he was gone. They just didn't have anything. Niners finally win themselves another Super Bowl. They were there a couple of times a few years ago, losing both. Once to the Ravens as well, and then finally they are back and they have won. As Kittle retires, Deebo Samuel, there's Tyreek Hill retires, and you can see now going to season 10 and 11. You're going to see a lot of guys retiring here and go down the list. Anybody else? Geno Smith, Nick Boyle, Iodinis, Miles Sanders, Aaron Jones is retired, Stephon Tuitt, a bunch of guys. Bridgewater retired, Dante Jackson. So you can see everything starting to turn over, and you're going to get to a point where not a whole lot of guys are going to be left in the next few years. Obviously, they're getting up there in age, especially when you got Vince Haynes, one of our first draft picks. He's already 30 years old. You're definitely getting up there in franchise years. So Vince Haynes still productive at 30, superstar, still 97 overall, and we have the cap room to give him a deal, no doubt about it. So let's see, 3 years, $60 million. He takes it, he accepts, he is back, and we'll see. Hopefully he would like to finish his career as a Dolphin. Doesn't really happen that often, obviously, in the NFL. Even later on, even if you sign 2 big contracts, you probably get released down the road. Now, as for offensive line, very important. David Lyons, try to bring him back. That'll put him up to 33 years old. Another draft pick, ours. Can he brought back on a 3-year deal? He wants to hit free agency. So, with that, now let's go to Jonathan Gibbs. Still only a normal development, obviously, but an 86 overall. At this age, I mean, offensive line, it's just tough. But once again, he hits free agency as well. So now we have to start thinking about it. Who else do we want to go with? Now, Justin Weston, I don't think we're going to bring back. Jeremiah Perriman, he had a productive season. He's only 28 years old at corner. That's pretty good. You need as much as possible. He's going to test free agency. So it looks like a bunch of guys here are more willing to test free agency, as Matt Garvin, who was playing well, had a good season, gets hurt in the playoffs, fractured his hip, and we're going to try to bring him back even though with that injury, and he wants to test free agency. So right now, we are going to have a lot of holes to fill here, and hopefully we'll see. We might have some money to spend in free agency, pending, and also we'll have to look forward to the draft once again. And 1 year left on Tua. What do we do? Do we have just is our window done? Are we going to have to kind of start a complete rebuild now if he leaves, or do we re-sign him once again? And then once again have a huge cap number, or do we kind of do the thing where we draft a quarterback, build over him, and have plenty of cap to do whatever we want? Now we're going to franchise tag Jonathan Gibbs. Don't want to lose both linemen like that. But you can see the roster here going into the free agency period. Silk Packer Patrick, Jeremiah Stockton, Peck is there, but still we need another receiver. Offensive line, we definitely need somebody offensive line. I would say tight end, not too bad. Defensively, obviously up front, it seems like a revolving door every year. We definitely need there. Definitely cornerback for sure. I think safety with Monty Cheeks were good. Cloud were good. At linebacker, pretty good right now. And we got 29, about $30 million left in cap to spend. So this has been more than the last few years. So really, with this free agent period, who do you go after? Now, Jeff Okudah, 31 years old, cornerback, a position we need. There's also Denzel Ward, who's at 33. So I think we're going to go after Jeff Okudah. We'll just give him a one-year deal. 90 speed, still pretty good. 84 man, 77 zone. That's pretty good. We'll offer him the one-year deal, what he wants, and see if we can take that. Now, going down the list, David Lyons. I mean, offensive line is so important. You need offensive line. I mean, it's really why we kind of struggled in the Ravens game, is Tua had some troubles with offensive line blocking up front. I mean, I know Lyons was part of that offensive line, but still, you need a solid offensive line or your quarterback really can't do anything at all. So we're going to offer him a deal. Looking around maybe at receiver now, you can see with those two deals that cap room has instantly gone down. So we're down to $6.6 million. But look at all these receivers, and none of them are getting offers whatsoever. Bo Blackburn, 97 speed, 96 acceleration. He's 29 years old, but still, maybe we can lowball one of these receivers, offer them a deal, see if they accept, because nobody is going after them whatsoever. It seems like receiver is definitely a position that is super deep. As you can see, we're going to advance to stage 2, but draft, there's always seems to be receivers there, as Lyons and Okudah do sign. So we got Lyons and Gibbs right back. And now taking a look at this, the draft class here, do we go with one of these quarterbacks and replace Tua? Do we draft one of these guys this year, build him for a year, and after this, let Tua walk? There's some talent here. There's guys here that look pretty good. Brock Hayden, the year we just start him because he looks fantastic. I mean, there's guys that possibly we got to start thinking about it. That is for sure, no doubt about it. We'll see. The next season going through, if we really want to re-sign Tua or not. I mean, I don't know. As for fifth-year options, we'll take the fifth-year option on Dorian Walton. Obviously, we didn't draft him. He was traded, but first-round pick, we'll take that one. And now you can see Blackburn's getting a deal done, so we'll just take that deal away. But we still have $6 million. And, Garvin's sitting there. Nobody's offered him a deal yet, so maybe we kind of just undercut Matt Garvin here, maybe a 1 or 2 year deal. He's obviously 30 years old, and see if we can just get him for that 1 year deal, offer him something, and maybe hopefully that'll sign and Garvin will be back. And that's exactly what happened. So Garvin's back. So everybody we thought we were losing in free agency, we're pretty much acquiring back. As for the rest of free agency, Christian Kirk goes back to Arizona. Kevin Gills goes to the Bears. Stephen Simmons goes to the Colts, as the Denzel Ward ended up going to the Ravens, who now are going to have to think about, retooling their wide receiver core with now Tyreek Hill gone. Baker Mayfield, you saw, goes back to the Browns. So a lot of guys, hitting free agency, but deciding to go back to their teams, which I actually enjoy. That's an interesting thing. I think it happens, more often than not. Even though you hit free agency sometimes, you still end up working out a deal with your original team, and there you go. So a lot of guys re-signing back, and now it's time for the draft. And let's get this one going. So Tyler Wooden is going to be our first pick here in the draft, 74 overall, normal development. He is going to be moved over to defensive tackle. He's a big guy. He's around 320. He is definitely going to be that. But now we get into our second round pick. And now you got to think about, do we take one of these quarterbacks? Jeremy Holcomb there. But Jonathan Gray, running back, looks fantastic. We'll take him. 76 overall. Hidden development. Obviously got to get a little bit better of a running situation with Ben Riley. Kind of unproductive during the season. Playoffs, he was pretty good, but season not too much. And very injury prone, so we'll take a draft pick there. And then, because of the quarterback situation, decide to move up. We'll trade our third this year, fourth next year, or third next year, fourth this year, in Singleton. And we're going to get Jeremy Holcomb. That's what we're going to go after. It looks pretty good. He's a 73 overall, hidden development, 6'4", 222. Has that scrambler right now, architect. Third power, not too bad at 88. Definitely has to work on some things, but he's got some speed, some agility. So, could he be the quarterback of the future? We'll see. We'll see what happens. You just never know. Next draft pick's going to be Kerry Lamb in the Third round, 70 overall, wide receiver, trying to continue to build up that wide receiver core as he's not too bad. As we continue on, Kevin Massey will be our next pick. Not the greatest. 65 overall. You'll never get a development other than, I swear, the normal and most offensive linemen. Don Session, probably going to be our next pick here. 61 overall, normal development. Not too much, but that's what happens when you get into these later rounds. And our last draft pick is going to be Jay Gilkey, kicker, 68 overall. And there is our draft. So really not too bad. I would say the first four, 1 through 3, pretty good. From there down, not the greatest. But will Jeremy Holcomb, will he be the starting quarterback? Obviously not this year, but will he be the starting quarterback next year will really be the question. As now we head into this regular season, set the season goal. So coming off an average off season, getting the pieces that we kind of need. But taking a look at the schedule, first 4 games, 4 to the first 5 games are on the road. So that means down the stretch, you remember last year, 4 of the last 5 games were on the road. Now this year, 4 of the last 5 are at home. So that really helps out schedule-wise, and obviously, I think we can win the division. We can get back to it. We kind of have a similar team, so let's sim ahead. As we sim through the first 4 weeks, and we go 2-2, and really, winning 2, the road games, that's pretty good. I will take that. Your whole goal, usually, I would say, as 2 of the first 4 touchdowns, is to, you would love to go 8-0. Obviously, they don't have the added game right now like they will next year. It's still 16-game schedule, but you'd rather go 8-0 at home and 4-4 on the road. That puts you at 12-4. I mean, that's really, I would say, a big-time goal. So if you go 2-2 on the road to start, that's pretty good. Tua, you can see what he wants. 2 years, around $76 million, and he's definitely worth it. He is technically the ranked number 4 quarterback in the league. He is a top 5 quarterback, and they demand a lot of money even at that age, but still, we're going to see what happens. Let it roll this season. As the next 4 games, we go 2-2 once again. And you can see a 7-6 ball game as we just didn't do anything offensively. 183 for Tua. Holcomb looked like he got in there, so maybe Tua got hurt a little bit. Gray, only 3.2 yards per carry. I mean, it looks like Ben Riley's hurt once again. Kirkpatrick and Garvin, not a whole lot there in the defense. I mean, what more can you do? They obviously dominated there, but the offense just couldn't do really anything. And you can see we're sitting at 4-4. So definitely not what I expected. I thought we'd be a lot better. You can see the defense is fantastic. Offense, 16 touchdowns, 1 pick so far through 8 games for Tua. Run game once again, just no run game whatsoever. Riley doesn't even have a touchdown. Gray with the only 2 really from a running back position. Kirkpatrick still having a great season, 682, 7 touchdowns, 14.5 per catch. So he still is putting up some decent offensive numbers. Defensively, solid. 6.5 for Haynes, Clay with 5, Wooden with 3. The rookie having a very productive season so far, and Daniel Reed with 3 picks, and Marco Tolliver with the other one. We're 11th in offense halfway through the season, and defense, we're actually 18th in yards. That's surprising. Points allowed, we can't be that bad because we're, still doing pretty good. So let's advance through. Let's see what we do maybe the next 4 games. We got off the bye. So you can see the bye week there. We, obviously beat the Colts, and then we lose to the Titans out of the bye, and then we win 30-10 against the Bills. So that's a big victory on the road. Division, very good there. A little bit better offensively. Let's see. Tua with 179 and a touchdown. Gray with 69 yards on 20 carries. That's got to get more than that. I mean, at least average 4 carry. That's what you want to see for sure. Rashawn Ross with a good game and a touchdown. Braxton Clay with 3 sacks. And we got to the quarterback all day there. No picks. And did we get a fumble out of it? We got a fumble from Daniel Reed. So 1 turnover and then a big win at Detroit, 42-28. So we head into week 13, and now is where we start this stretch. We got 4 out of 5 at home. So let's see if we can take advantage of that, and let's see what we do. As before we get that, we're 6-5. So you get the Bills at 6-5, Jets at 6-5. That's why that game against the Bills was huge. Getting that victory, those division, especially road games. If you can win a road game in division, that is huge. So right now, chance for the division. And we're not even in the wild card at the moment. You can see we are not there. And it's so close that the Bills were 6-5 as well. They're the number 3 seed. So everything is close here in the AFC. Right now, the Ravens, the number 1 seed. I believe at this time they're still undefeated. But you can see what we do the next couple games. We are on a roll. So we beat the Browns, beat the Jets, and we beat the Bears with 2 games left. And that puts us at 9-5. We've won 5 straight, at least a game ahead in the division, and a chance to win this division and finish down the stretch. So we lose against the Packers in week 16, and that puts us at now 9-6 with 1 week left. Now here's the scenario. If we lose, we need the Jets to lose. If we win, it doesn't matter. But if we lose, we need the Jets to lose. That is what we need, because right now I believe the Bills tiebreaker, we got it. We need, in that division, I think with the 3 teams at the same record, even the Bills win, because we have a better division record, we would win the division. That's what we need if we lose, and we do lose to the Vikings. So we lose our final 2 games against the Packers and Vikings at home, and the Jets ended up losing, and there you go. That's what we needed. We have the better record. I believe if they, obviously if they would have won, we would have been done for, but they lose. And because we have a better division record than the Bills, we end up winning the division, and the Bills do make the wild card, winning their final 3 games. Ravens at 14-2, they're the number 1 seed. Bengals get that first wild card at 11-5. Titans win that division at 11-5. Jacksonville, the other wild card, at 9-7. AFC West Chargers winning that division at 8-8. Jeez. Packers and Vikings both make the playoffs. The teams we just lost to the final 2 weeks of the season. Falcons at 7-9 win that division. That's pathetic. Washington 12-4 win the division, and looks like they're the number 1 seed with the Rams at 10-6, and they're defending champs Niners at 9-7. So that sets up this playoff matchup here. We are going to take on the Buffalo Bills. It's going to be a division game in the wild card round. And let's take a look what we did in the season here. 2 with 32 touchdowns, 8 pick, real good season. But once again, the run game just no good. Even Jonathan Gray kind of struggled in his rookie year. But Kirkpatrick, once again, over 1,000 yards, over 10 touchdowns. Garvin had a pretty good year, 832, 6 TDs. Receiving looks very, very good. I wish Glenn Peck would get more involved. Actually, Akuda leads us in tackles. Braxton Clay with 12 sacks. Vince Haynes with 9.5. Pleasant still ended up with, but he had 4 sacks for a rookie. Daniel Reed 4. We had no turnovers once again. Another season, just no turnovers. Looking at the league leaders, McLean leads with yardage. Goldstein, as we've seen before, he's still up there. Lamar Jackson, best record in football. He's trying to get back to the Super Bowl and not be injured and win it once again. McLean did lead, but Lamar 37-5. Tua's still up there. Mahomes, he's kind of disappeared, really. As Josh Jacobs, oh man, he just destroyed everybody. Almost 500 yards more than any other running back in football. You can see all the 1,000-yard runners. As for touchdowns, Kyrie Pierman with 14, DeMarcus Elam with 14 as well. And yeah, it looks like the Jaguars had some decent, 2 guys over 10 touchdowns. Terrell Code, 7 Tim is about 1,800 yards, 114 catches. Outstanding season. Kirkpatrick still there in the top 5. And yardage as Claiborne is up there as well. So it looks like Lavera's Claiborne still having a very productive career even in Detroit. But Christian Kirk, 19 touchdowns, leads the league. And we saw last time he was up on the list. I want to take a look at his career numbers. So he had 18 last year, 19 this year, 8, 6, 10, 12. You could see he had a nice run there for about 4 or 5 years where he had over 10 touchdowns. And he has just been rolling here near the end of his career as well. Going down the list, Quentin Tate with 16. You see Kirkpatrick with 13. So let's take really a career comparison with Pat Kirkpatrick. Obviously, we have the records for touchdowns, 23 the first year, 26 in 2025, but he's only had 2 years where he's not been over 10 touchdowns. But when you have 2 years over 20 touchdowns, I mean, that kind of cancels out. And one of the years, you're just 1 short. But yeah, last 4 years, 10, 11, 14, 13. He's up there in the list too. I think all said and done, that's kind of where I want to sort of end the franchise, I think I would say, is obviously we're getting closer to Madden 22, which if anybody has seen the videos on it, what your thoughts on Madden 22? For me, I'm it looks fantastic. This might be one of the best Maddens in a long time. It's Myles Garrett, another 25 sack season. Jeez. But I know it's EA. I know, you never know what's going to happen sometimes. But if everything pans out what they're doing, the gameplay looks fantastic. I love the home field advantage. That is something they used to have in NCAA, and I don't understand why they got rid of it. Home field plays such a huge advantage in football. That crowd's going, it's so tough. It is a huge thing, and I love that it's brought back in there. There's so many elements of this Madden that I'm really thinking it's fantastic. The stars showing up, teams playing different. That's what it is. Teams have different game plans, and I really hope that Madden 22 is going to be an excellent game, and I really can't wait to play it. So right now, with this franchise, we'll head into the playoffs. We'll do like we did last time. We'll show the entire game pretty much in the wild card round against the Bills, so we can get a victory. And as for this franchise going forward, I think maybe till Pat Kirkpatrick retires, kind of go to the rest of his end of his career, maybe that's when we stop there. And then obviously Madden 22 will kick off in August, and I really just cannot wait for it, and hopefully that's going to be awesome. As for teams, not really sure yet. If you guys have any ideas, you can always let me know. Think about it for sure. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for all the support. We'll be back next time with the wildcard game. I will see you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.